On a quiet morning in Southern California, a 22-year-old basketball star stepped onto the first tee at the ProAm. She wasn't there for headlines, sponsorships, or photo ops. She came for the sound of the ball meeting the sweet spot, the solitude of focus, and the challenge of mastering something new. Her name, of course, was Caitlyn Clark. And what happened that day would ripple far beyond the manicured fairways of Pelican Hill Golf Club. It would rewrite another record book, redraw the boundaries of athletic possibility, and leave even golf's greatest legends questioning what they had just witnessed. When her 47-foot birdie putt curled across the green and dropped into the cup, the world of golf went silent for half a second. The kind of silence that precedes awe. Then came the roar, not just from the gallery, but from living rooms, phones, and feeds around the world. Caitlyn Clark, the woman who changed the way people watch basketball, had just conquered a completely different arena. To even understand how something like this happens, how a basketball prodigy from West Des Moines can step into the heart of a professional golf event and outscore seasoned players, you have to go back. Back to Iowa, back to the endless gyms and quiet fairways of her childhood. Brant Clark loved two things: basketball and golf. He passed both on to his daughter before she hit double digits. Family friends remember her small hands gripping an oversized driver at age 9, her swing awkward but determined, eyes narrowed, the same way she'd later stare down a defender with 10 seconds left on the clock. Caitlyn would spend mornings working on free throws and afternoons walking 9 holes with her dad. She treated every stroke, every bounce as data, something to analyze, adjust, and improve. Her father once told a local reporter, "Caitlyn doesn't do casual. Whatever she picks up, she wants to master." That hunger, that refusal to accept limits, became her trademark long before the crowds and cameras arrived. At the University of Iowa, Caitlyn's game turned into something close to myth. Logo range threes, cross-court vision, a fearless will to win. She broke scoring records that had stood for decades, and in doing so, she altered the economics of women's sports. But behind the noise, there was balance. When pressure peaked, she turned to golf, not as a show, but as a sanctuary. She once told an interviewer, "Golf is peace for me. There's no clock, no crowd, just you and your thoughts." What she didn't say, perhaps because she didn't need to, was that the same mental precision that made her a once-in-a-generation shooter also made her a natural student of golf's subtleties: rhythm, balance, tempo, and patience. Basketball in motion translated almost perfectly to golf in stillness. By the time she entered the WNBA, whispers had already started. Teammates joking that Caitlyn could probably qualify for a mid-level golf tournament if she ever cared to try. When the ProAm extended an invitation, few expected more than a charity cameo. Athletes from other sports show up every year, take a few selfies, and post respectable but forgettable rounds. Caitlyn, though, wasn't wired for forgettable. Her team's travel staff said she packed her own clubs, refused a caddy, and practiced alone at dawn 2 days before the event. She studied the course layout, memorized distances, wind directions, and pin placements. To her, this wasn't a celebrity outing. It was a competition. And for competitors like Caitlyn Clark, competition is sacred. The morning of the Pro-Am was clear, the Pacific air crisp. The crowd gathered early, many wearing Iowa jerseys or WNBA shirts, unsure what to expect. Annika Sorenstam herself, the tournament host and one of golf's most decorated champions, watched from the first tee with a half smile. She'd seen plenty of talented athletes struggle under golf's quiet pressure, but there was something different in Caitlyn's demeanor, an almost meditative calm, the same posture she held before draining threes on national television. When the starter called her name, she adjusted her glove, took a single practice swing, and sent her opening drive arcing clean through the morning light. The gallery gasped. Then came the murmur. Someone whispered, "That sounded professional." What unfolded over the next 4 hours would blur the line between sports entirely. Because what Caitlyn Clark was about to do wasn't supposed to be possible, not by an amateur, not by a basketball player, and certainly not under the scrutiny of an LPGA event broadcast worldwide. This wasn't luck. It was the culmination of years of unspoken preparation, discipline hidden beneath highlight reels. As the front nine began, no one yet realized they were watching history. There are rounds of golf that unfold like quiet afternoons, slow, predictable, pleasant. And then some rounds feel like destiny rehearsed itself in secret, waiting for the right moment to reveal its hand. This morning, Caitlyn Clark wasn't just swinging a club. She was composing something closer to art. Her playing partners that day read like the who's who of women's golf. Nelly Korda, the world's #1, and Brooke Henderson, a major champion with a swing built on discipline and grace. The pair greeted Caitlyn warmly, the way pros greet a curious newcomer. But within minutes, that dynamic shifted. On the first tee, Clark's drive landed just left of center fairway, 290 yards. Perfect shape, balanced follow-through. The gallery responded with polite applause, not yet realizing what they were witnessing. By hole 3, polite applause had turned into surprise. On hole 5, surprise became disbelief. She played like someone who had done this 1,000 times. Her pre-shot routine never wavered. Her rhythm was identical. Inhale, exhale, swing, hold. Even Korda, calm and collected, gave a knowing glance to Henderson. The look said it all. This wasn't normal. At the par 4 7th, the gallery fell into a hush as Caitlyn stepped onto the tee. She studied the distance, adjusted her footing, and launched a drive that sailed high and true, a 337-yard bomb that came to rest just 10 yards short of the green. The broadcast microphones picked up a single word from the commentator's lips. "Wow, golf is supposed to humble you." Even professionals spend lifetimes chasing the perfect round. Yet, here was a 22-year-old basketball star, striking the ball with the precision of a seasoned tour veteran. Spectators who had come to see a novelty act now stood shoulder to shoulder, phones in hand, trying to capture what had quietly turned into history in motion. By the 8th hole, the tension was electric. Clark's iron shots cut through the air with a controlled aggression, every follow-through snapping like a whip. On the green, she read putts, with the same patience she used to read defenses. Knees bent, eyes locked, visualizing every curve and contour. When her 20-foot birdie dropped on the 8th, she didn't celebrate. She simply smiled. Small, calm, certain. The kind of smile that belongs to someone who knows she's in the zone. Annika Sorenstam watched from the sideline, arms crossed, her expression shifting from curiosity to respect. Later, she'd recall in an interview, "You could see it in her eyes. That wasn't luck. That was focus." The kind only great athletes ever find. The back nine began with whispers of a record pace. A few reporters started doing mental math. If she held steady, she could break the celebrity record for the event. But steady wasn't what Caitlyn Clark had in mind. By the 11th, she was 8 under par. Her swing tempo never changed. Her breathing, her posture, her expression, identical from hole to hole. It was the same unflinching demeanor she carried on the basketball court, that look of quiet certainty that unnerved opponents and inspired teammates. And then came the 17th hole, a 47-foot birdie putt, uphill, double breaking, impossible by most standards. The crowd had grown now, spilling out from the ropes, cameras raised, waiting for something, anything, to justify the hype that had been building all day. Caitlyn stood over the ball for a long time. Then she whispered something to herself, something no microphone caught. One smooth stroke. The ball rolled. It curved left, then right, then slowed, kissed the lip of the cup, and dropped. Silence. Then chaos. The gallery erupted, voices breaking through the California air. "Let's go, Caitlyn!" they shouted. Brooke Henderson covered her mouth in disbelief. Nelly Korda threw her hands in the air and laughed, shaking her head. Annika Sorenstam, standing near the green, leaned over and told her, smiling, "You just made that look too easy. Coming from one of the greatest to ever play the game, that wasn't flattery. It was an acknowledgement." On the 18th tee, Caitlyn stood surrounded by murmurs of potential history. She didn't show it. One deep breath, one clean swing, and her ball found the fairway, centerline again. By the time she tapped in her final putt, the scoreboard told the story. A 61, the lowest score ever recorded by a non-professional female athlete in a sanctioned Pro-Am event. No celebration, no theatrics. Just a quiet nod, a handshake, and that same modest smile. But for everyone watching, players, fans, journalists, it felt like something seismic had just happened, because it wasn't just about the number on the card. It was about the idea that one athlete could carry her mastery from one sport into another and still find perfection. As the sun dipped behind the horizon, cameras caught Caitlyn walking alone toward the clubhouse, clubs slung over her shoulder, the crowd chanting her name. The light hit the edge of the fairway. The wind carried her laughter faintly across the course, and you could almost hear the unspoken question floating through the air, what can't she do? By the time Caitlyn Clark walked off the 18th green, the world had already begun to take notice. Not just the crowd on the course, but everyone else. Sports journalists, analysts, fans scrolling through social feeds, even casual observers who had never cared about golf were now glued to their screens. Within minutes, clips of her drives, putts, and calm focus were circulating across every platform imaginable. Twitter exploded. TikTok became a gallery of highlights. Instagram Reels captured every swing in slow motion, often replayed dozens of times. It wasn't just impressive, it was viral. Legends of golf took note immediately. Tiger Woods, arguably the most iconic golfer of his generation, posted online, "Athleticism and focus like that transcend sports." Congratulations to Caitlyn Clark. What a round! The acknowledgement was more than symbolic. It marked a rare moment where a non-professional athlete earned respect in a sport defined by decades of discipline and tradition. Nelly Korda, the world #1, commented, "Her swing is pure. She has rhythm, strength, and composure. Honestly, she could compete if she wanted." Even Annika Sorenstam described the round as a masterclass in focus and adaptability. These weren't compliments tossed casually. They were nods from the highest authority in golf, a professional seal of respect, recognition that Caitlyn had crossed into rarefied territory. On social media, reactions ranged from shock to awe. Fans wrote, "First she breaks basketball records, now golf. There's nothing she can't do. She's Tiger Woods and Steph Curry in one body." The comments weren't hyperbole. People genuinely struggled to process what they had witnessed. And then, the crossover headlines arrived. ESPN, Sports Illustrated, and Golf Channel led with stories of Caitlyn Clark breaking yet another record. The narrative wasn't just that she succeeded, it was that she had shattered expectations. Within 48 hours, the LPGA's social media accounts gained over 300,000 new followers, many young women inspired to try golf for the first time. The demographic shift was unprecedented. Caitlyn's influence was tangible, measurable, and undeniable. Even the basketball world took notice. Sue Bird, WNBA legend, tweeted, "She's out here rewriting the record books in another sport. Unreal." And Steph Curry, known for his love of golf, reached out, "I see you, Caitlyn." Soon, Curry invited her to his annual charity tournament. Fans immediately speculated, what would happen if two of the greatest shooters in basketball history teamed up on a golf course? The excitement wasn't just hypothetical, it was a cultural moment, a bridge between sports fandoms that rarely intersect. Rumors began circulating. Major golf brands reportedly reached out to Caitlyn for potential endorsement deals. If true, she could simultaneously hold major deals in both basketball and golf, a feat unprecedented in modern sports. Her respect wasn't only for her talent, it was for her approach. After the round, Caitlyn told reporters, "I just wanted to have fun out there. Golf relaxes me, but I guess the competitor in me never turns off. Authenticity, discipline, and relentless focus. That combination explained everything. It was why she excelled in basketball, why she dominated golf, and why she became an inspirational force across sports. The reaction wasn't just global, it was generational. New fans were discovering golf. Existing fans were redefining what they expected from athletes. Analysts coined it the Caitlyn Clark effect, the proven phenomenon where her presence elevates entire leagues, events, and sports beyond traditional audiences. This was a star who didn't just shine, she changed the game. Some athletes define their era by the records they break, others by the inspiration they leave behind. Caitlyn Clark belongs to both. Her 61 at the Anika ProAm was more than a number. It was a statement that greatness isn't confined to one court, one field, or one sport. That mental discipline, focus, and competitive fire are transferable. The right mindset can transform potential into history. What Caitlyn did for basketball, she now does for golf. She created new benchmarks, new expectations, and a new cultural conversation. Her story demonstrates that excellence isn't inherited. It's honed, it's cultivated, it's lived every single day, quietly, away from the spotlight, until the moment comes when the world finally catches up. Within weeks, social media was flooded with young athletes sharing videos of themselves emulating her swing. Interviews with fans revealed a profound truth. Caitlyn wasn't just admired. She was motivating a new wave of female athletes to take risks, cross disciplines, and pursue mastery beyond conventional limits. Schools reported increased interest in golf programs. Camps filled faster. Merchandise sold out. This wasn't a fleeting celebrity moment. It was cultural momentum, the kind only a once-in-a-generation athlete can generate. In interviews, Caitlyn remained grounded. She emphasized process over outcome. I don't focus on records. I focus on each shot, each swing, each decision. If you do that, the results take care of themselves. This mindset echoes the same philosophy that made her a basketball icon: presence, preparation, and poise. That combination allows her to turn pressure into opportunity, and opportunity into history. Coaches and commentators now speak of the Caitlyn Clark effect not as hyperbole, but as a measurable phenomenon. Attendance at women's basketball games surged. Television ratings for LPGA events spiked. Youth participation in golf, particularly among young women, increased dramatically. Every metric tells the same story. One athlete, one mindset, and one record-breaking day can create a ripple far beyond the scoreboard. Caitlyn Clark's journey, from the hardwood floors of Iowa to the sun-drenched fairways of California, is more than a tale of records. It's a testament to human potential, to discipline, to focus, to the audacity of believing that limits exist only until someone dares to challenge them. Her 61 at the Anika ProAm is a chapter in a story still being written, but it already teaches a lesson for anyone who watches closely. Mastery isn't confined. Greatness is transferable, and the impact of a true athlete extends far beyond trophies and headlines. It lives in inspiration, in cultural transformation, in the hearts of those who witness it and dare to follow. Caitlyn Clark didn't just break a record that day. She broke expectations. She shattered perceptions. She reminded the world that limits are often illusions, waiting for someone courageous enough to prove otherwise. From Iowa courts to LPGA fairways, she continues to redefine what is possible. And in every young athlete who picks up a club, a ball, or a dream, her legacy has already begun.